with you in just one moment. Excuse me. There we go. Come on, this time's the charm. There we go. Sorry, I was fighting Bowser. It was very intense. I'll leave this on pause for now. Welcome to our game store, by the way. Yes, my name's Lore. How can I help you today? Okay. Sure. You are actually looking for some Nintendo 64 games. Possibly some controllers as well. Oh, you actually need a Nintendo 64, like the whole thing. Gotcha. No problem. We actually do have one here that I can show to you if you would like. Okay. Allow me a moment here. So, this is the Nintendo 64 we recently just had traded in. It is used, of course, but it has been play tested and it is in working condition. That's right. I was actually just playing it prior to testing out the current one I'm on. Well, right now, the wires that actually get connected in are set down here behind the counter where they won't get in the way. But the way it works is there is a power box, for lack of a better term, that gets connected into here, and it has the cord that you plug into the output, which would be for the power. And then we have another cord that you plug in here, and that gives you your red, white, and yellow connection. The connectors that go into your television. And if that's not something your television has, they do sell different adapters online on eBay and Amazon as well. So, the controllers that you would have, there can be up to 4 of them to be played at once. And you would plug them in. Now you would have to be careful though, because the controllers are not like modern day controllers. No. I know the person you're buying this for, are they younger, or are they in their 20s and 30s? Okay. So they might not know that these are built a little bit differently. If you unplug a controller out of most controllers are wireless now, but if you were to unplug a controller at any point with any modern gaming system, it wouldn't disturb it at all. It would just stop your ability to input commands into the controller until you reconnected it with the device. However, for the Nintendo 64, if you are in the middle of playing a game and you unplug a controller, that's it. You have to restart the game. Yeah. Also, the controllers are much different for the Nintendo 64 than any other gaming console. Yeah. But you can buy your controllers. There are thankfully many multiplayer games that were made for the 64. Yeah. That was back when couch co-op was a real thing. Me and my friends used to have little Super Smash Brother tournaments and Goldeneye tournaments. Those are two fantastic games, by the way. So, you then enter your game into here. Yeah, just like with the old Nintendo systems and Sega and so on. It's a cartridge gaming console. Nintendo did try, and I think it was 98 or 99. They did try to make an adaptation for the Nintendo 64 to be able to play CDs as well. Yeah, it didn't take off very well. But this is your power button. That's the on switch. And that's to turn it back off. On and off. On and off. Then you have your reset button right here. You're not familiar with a reset button? Well, it's something that you used to have to use a lot, believe it or not, back when this was a newer system. So, whenever a game would freeze, which would happen quite often, or, as I mentioned before, a controller got ripped out by the dog or by one of your friends who were careless, you would have to push the reset button, sometimes multiple times. Or you would have to hold it in. Right. Everybody had their own approach to it. In here is a memory expansion. Now this is a little bit dusty in here. We haven't gotten to clean this part out yet. But it's like a little memory card of sorts. It holds up to a certain amount of data. So, this would be the console itself. Not that it matters, but here's the underbelly of it. So, let me go ahead and I'll show you the controllers, and then we'll move on to the games. I will set this aside for you. Does this look like one you would want to purchase? Excellent. One moment. Okay. So this is one of the controllers that we have available. This is a red controller. And as you can tell, it is used like most things that we have here in this gaming store. Yeah. Now, what you can do, you can familiarize yourself with this controller if you would like. But basically, you have your thumb stick here, your analog stick. I know, it's a very odd design. And then you have your start button right here. Yeah, it's not too big. You have your A button, which is the blue one. That was used for entering a lot of commands, like to press OK for a menu option, stuff like that. Then you have your B button, your B button, B button. This is your B button. It's this little green one right here. Then you have the, I guess you can call it the C pad. These were little analog buttons that were used for a variety of different little inputs for different games. I'm trying to remember. I believe in Pokemon Snap, if I remember correctly, you would use this to move, I think it was the camera around, or to do like a fast snap. Something to that effect. I could be wrong, but and then you have your D-pad, which is still pretty standard for most video game controllers. And the most unique part about this controller, besides the trident design, is the Z button. Yeah, this threw a lot of people off, but once you get used to it, it's actually very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. Because you can just hold it like this. Now, depending on how you like to game, or what game you're playing, what dominant hand you have, so on, that would all play into part as to how you would hold this controller. I myself, for a majority of games, would have my left hand underneath it, like so, where I have access to the Z button. And then I would have my right hand here with the other buttons, where I had complete freedom to navigate it, because my right hand is dominated. It's my dominant hand. Now, in some cases, some games may be more focused on the directional pad, so you'd want to switch up your grip to something like this, or maybe like this. It all depends. Yeah. The old days of gaming. They literally don't make them like they used to. So I'll show you the other controller that I was using. It's actually my favorite design as far as the Nintendo 64 controllers are concerned. Now this is the purple one that I was using before. Yeah. And it has all the same buttons on it as the other one did, except, of course, this one is transparent. That's the unique feature in its design, but I think it's the best looking because of that. Yeah, here, take a closer look. Pretty neat, right? And the buttons all work very well still. The previous owner took really good care of it. So, do you think you would like to buy at least one or both of these controllers? Okay, great. I'll set them down below with the console. Okay. Now, what type of games do you have interest in, or the person you might be purchasing this for? Okay. So what I can do is I'll bring a few up for you to take a look at and see what you like out of the bunch. Alright. We'll start with just a few. I'm just going to lay him out here on the counter. Alright, so as you can see, we have quite a few games lined up here. The first one, Mario Kart 64. Arguably the best game ever made for the Nintendo 64. Or maybe just ever. No, but it is a really fun game. I can't tell you how many hours I've played this game with friends, and it's been a great time. There's been many arguments at sleepovers as kids over this game. Yeah. So there's that. I'll set that down over here. Let's do this one here. This is Mario Party, which I don't really think needs any introduction, as I'm sure you've either heard or have played Mario Party before. Is that pretty safe to say? Yeah. Well, in any case, this is the one that started it all off. And the mini games in here, though most of them are pretty trivial, they still are a great time to play with friends. And even as an adult, I can attest to the fact that this game is a great drinking game, or just a great game to drink and play with friends. Yeah. Or whatever you like to do. You could smoke, you can not do anything and just still play the game. It's a lot of fun. The next game is a bit of a change of pace, and it's called SubZero. Now, have you ever played Mortal Kombat? Either of them. Yeah, either of them. So, it's a Mortal Kombat game, but this one is focused on the story of SubZero and his clan. From what I remember playing this game in my youth, the story was actually pretty good, and it actually dives into the background of SubZero. Yeah. So if you like fighting games and a little bit of gore and some interesting platforming and a good narrative, this just might be the game. Okay. Now, I must admit this next game is a bit of a treasure for me. It's called Goldeneye 007. It's James Bond, back when James Bond was played by Pierce Brosnan, and it is a fantastic game. Well, it didn't age the best, I will admit to that. But for its time, this was the Call of Duty, back when Call of Duty was actually good, of Call of Duties. It was the Fortnite of the Nintendo 64 era. I'm sorry, I shouldn't disrespect GoldenEye like that, but you get the idea. It was a fantastic shooter to play with friends. The story was really good. At the time, the shooting and everything was the best that was out there. But again, it's really, really long in the tooth. So if you go into it with any expectations that you would have with any type of modern shooter, you're going to be disappointed. But a very good game nonetheless. And of course, in terms of Mario games, this is Mario 64, or Super Mario 64. Yeah. Now, this game was the game I probably spent the most hours playing as a kid for the 64. Yeah. It was amazing, and it's still a very, very played game even today. There is a giant, I think it's actually the biggest, speed run community out there for this game. A YouTuber that I really like named Summoning Salt. They cover video game speedrun records and things like that. And they build really interesting narratives about the speedrunning. They do a great job. They covered Super Mario 64 in a video last year, and it was phenomenal. You wouldn't believe all the little tips and tricks that people actually use to gain just a second of time. Yeah. But it's an amazing game just to play casually as well. Now, I don't know if you liked wrestling in your youth, or maybe you still do. But when I was a kid, I grew up in what was called the WWF Attitude Era, with Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, Triple H, and Degeneration X, Nation of Domination, so on. And this was when the WCW also was around. And WCW had wrestlers like Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Goldberg, Raven, Sting, Diamond Dallas Page, Kevin Nash, so on. And it was a phenomenal thing to watch as a kid. And WCW versus the NWO. And I believe it's Revenge. It's only $5 plus tax. But it's a great game if you like wrestling games. I'll put it over to the side. This game is called Cruisin USA. And if you can't tell, it's a racing game. Yeah. This game is a lot of fun. Well, for racing games back in 1996 goes. But, yeah, that's all I can really say. It's just a fun racing game. So if you like racing games, I'm not the biggest fan. But if you like them, this might be the game for you. And we have another James Bond game. This game came out after Goldeneye. And it's called The World Is Not Enough. And I really like this game. There were some cool little things they did to improve upon what they did in Goldeneye. Plus, I used to love taking this game over to my friend's house because the blue is a really nice aesthetic. And I used to think it was just cool. You know, the 8-year-old me thought it was awesome bringing this over. So, definitely another really fun shooter. And the last game I'll show off here, though we have more if you want to see them, is Wrestlemania 2000. And this is just another really, really fun wrestling game. This one's based on the WWF, now known as the WWE. It's not my favorite wrestling game, though. My favorite one was a game called No Mercy. So I'll put that down here too. Now, I have all that set aside for you. What else were you looking for? Okay, you have a Switch. Are you looking to buy any Switch games or anything like that? No. Oh, you need like a carrying case. I might actually have one. I might actually have one in the store. Sure enough, I do. We have a Pokemon, specifically Pikachu, themed Switch carrying case left here. Yeah, we sometimes get shipments in, but our gaming store, since it's smaller, we normally do a lot of buying and trading, so we don't always have the biggest surplus of things like this. But this is a really nice case. It's rigid and tough. It can be dropped, and you would be safe to assume no harm would come to the Switch inside of it, assuming you're not dropping it off something really high. Are you buying this for yourself or for someone else? Not sure. Do you like Pikachu? Who doesn't, right? Here, let's take a look. There we go. So, we have this nice fabric up here, like a felt fabric that is very soft. And then we have this little mesh portion, which is a bag that is separate. Well, it's attached, but it moves. And in here, we keep little Switch accessories, like little things to put on the end, and so on. And then back here is nothing really, it's just a little spot to fit some games or whatnot. Right. So, do you think you would be interested in the Pikachu carrying case? Yeah? Okay. I'll put that with the other things. Now, I believe you also mentioned something about headphones. Now, we don't keep a big selection of headphones here. We're slowly building up our inventory. However, I did grab this as I was putting the carrying case down there. Yeah, these are just some good, reasonably priced headphones. They are Xperia, I believe is how you pronounce that. And they cover your ears as you game, of course. Like that needs to be said. They're adjustable from up here. I'm not going to adjust them right now just because I don't want to make it too loud. Yeah, we like to keep the store pretty quiet. But there's, of course, the mic portion which goes up and down. And when you plug it in, which it is a USB plug-in, you can always get adapters and things like that too online if you're looking to plug it into another device port. However, when you do that, the lettering here, along with this part of the ring, actually lights up. Same with this side. Yeah, so it creates a really fun gaming aesthetic, basically. And it also comes with this button here, which I have still yet to discover the actual purpose for. You would assume it's a mute button, but it's not, because the mute button is right there. And here's your volume. This is your mic volume. This is your headset volume. And you can clip it on if you would need to. Do you want to try putting these on? Sure. 1 second. How do they feel? Good? Good. So, yeah, we can find a pretty low price for these. Great. I'll add them with your bundle. Alright, so now that you've picked out your games and the controllers and the N64 and the Pikachu carrier and the headset, is there maybe anything else I can get you today? No? Okay. Well, we are always here if you need us. And I will definitely have a fresher inventory as time goes on. So, excellent. Well, thanks so much for stopping in. And have yourself a great day. Okay. Now, we're going to do a little posing. Okay. Maybe right here. Last one, hold on, almost done. Good. Three, two, one.